are now listening to Ricky and Lolo's Couples Therapy, brought to you by the Lolo Knows Radio Network. Keeping a healthy perspective is necessary in these tough times we live in. Hello and welcome to another hour of Ricky, Lolo, and Couples Therapy. How are you today, Ricky?
I'm good.
You called me Laura on the show last week. We have to not do that anymore.
I get a little. Laura.
I know you do and stuff, but I'm going to talk about that for a minute. You know, a lot of people ask me whether or not, especially, Facebook has my name on there because it's Facebook's rules. When they started to downplay and they wanted everybody's government name on the site, that's what's there. But the first chance I get to change it over to Lolo, I'm going to do that because I'm Lolo, and that's it. One word, one name, that's it. And I just do that. You, however, are my man, and we're getting married, and you can call me that, but a lot of people want to know what they can call me and everything. And I had to sit back and ask myself, what do, and it's just like, I do want people to call me Lo because, it's easy for me. There's too many damn Lauras in the world. I was called Lolo for a long damn time. And I have built this woman up to be who I am today. So I'm Lolo, and that's it. One word, one name. That's it.
It's habit for me. So.
I know it's habit for you. And it, that's why I'm very, when you when you're building a brand, you got to be consistent with that brand. Like right now, everybody can call you, people call you Ricky, and everybody thinks your technical name is Ricky Spanish, and it's so funny because really people believe that your government name is Ricky Spanish. I want you to know how much that name is you, and the fact that you've become that name. And and yes,
I just play that
your
guy
government
on TV.
Your government name is Mike and that kind of thing, and whatever. And it's not just you play that guy on TV. Yes, you check in the work. It's just like if you want people for so bad just to call you Mike,
I don't care.
Then just be Mike.
Oh no, I don't care.
Be DJ Mike.
I always tell people it's more or less up to them. I mean,
you got so mad at me when I would always sometimes would call you Ricky, but that's how I known you, even when we were friends for a couple years before we dated.
For sure. But like my close friends, I give them the option, obviously. If I don't know you or if that's what you know me as, then that's fine. But like people that I've run around with or people that I hang out with all the time, I mean, it's your call, man. I don't care. Right. You can call me Hey You. You can point at me. You can say Hey Fuckface. Like I don't care what you call me as long as you get my attention and get your point across. Like I'm not real into that whole thing. Yeah. And the whole thing kind of started off as a goof anyway. Like if I had it to do over again, I probably would do it differently. So,
You're running with it now, baby.
Well, I'm stuck with it. Like you said, you start building something, it kind of spiraled out of control and took on a life of its own, and now I'm kind of stuck with it. Like, we were just talking about, before the show started, we were talking about Rover on Rover's Morning Glory, and he says all the time, he's like, man, if I had it to do over again, I would not be fucking Rover. I would just be Shane French. He's like, I'd be Shane French all day long. He's like, but when you get into radio and you're young and you're stupid and, you want to be cool and edgy and whatever, you come up with a name and then the next thing you know, it's 20 years later and you're fucking Rover. Well, the same thing happened to me. 10 years later, you're fucking Ricky Spanish, like it or not. Yeah. So... yeah, it's, I give people the option. I'm not married to the name, but the name's unfortunately married to me. So it is what it is, man. And I've kind of come around on it more recently. Like when I make new connections and stuff, I do just introduce myself as that just to keep it less confusing and more streamlined.
And that's whatever. That's what I do. And I'm always meeting people. They say, what was my name? But I usually try it. Now, here's the other thing. Here's the other kicker. When I say Lolo and people call me Lola, I didn't say Lola, Lolo. No. Or I'll just shorten and just say Lo, so that nobody can call me Lola.
Well, I think that's you're working against conditioning there. there's songs, Lola, and people have used that
Lolita,
in movies and all kinds of stuff. So you're working against internal conditioning there. But for me, at least with you, okay, your name's Laura and your nickname's Lolo. Mine is just completely out of the park different. So when people ask me what to call, I'm just like, whatever works for you. Man.
I love it.
If you know that my real name's Mike, then I guess you get to call me Mike if that's what fucking makes you happy. And if you don't, then I guess you don't get to call me that. So
I was laughing in our Unplanned group post, and we were talking about your name. I don't know, did you make a file where we all get into it? And there was...
for our work board.
For our work board, and it's...
That's
Richard Espanol.
That's my.
And I was gonna say Ricardo. You say Ricardo.
No, that's my professional name.
Richard Espanol.
That's what my business card says. Just to further confuse things.
Oh God. I've been in a mood these last couple days, and it's only because I share a lot of pets, funny pet videos. Really cute ones, real fun, you know. And I've been so shaken by the recent video that I saw on my newsfeed, and I know a lot of people have seen it because now it's getting spread around like you know what, wildfire. And there's this guy who's in his car. He's got his dog on his lap, and he's repeatedly punching him in the fucking face. In the jaw, you know, just going at him, and his buddies are freaking laughing at this asshole doing this shit, and I'm like, what in the fuck is wrong with people? Why in the fuck do they think that this is entertainment? Why in the fuck would they ever condone that shit? I hope that motherfucker meets me, because I'm gonna do the same motherfucking thing to him, and I hope the fuck God you get onto this show and you listen to me, motherfucker, because I'm coming after your ass. Doing that shit and thinking that shit's cute, I will fuck you up. And rant. Go ahead, honey.
I don't know. I got nothing.
I am so angry. I am so angry at shit like that. The fact that even somebody has the audacity to post that shit. The fact that this is even a thing. The fact that that's a precious fucking soul and you're going to be beating it to death like that. What in the fuck is wrong with people?
Well, I mean, look.
I've been angry for 2 days. Angry as fuck for 2 days. You know what? And that kind of shit messes around with a relationship when you're just trying to be cool with somebody, or you're just trying to be, you know, in a relationship with somebody and be cool for the weekend. I have my weekend where I got to paint my feelings away. And you know what? I started on this awesome fucking piece and shit, and I didn't know what direction it kind of messed with me there for a minute. Then I started seeing it kind of turning a little bit towards those feelings that I really don't want to. But then again, I'm like, well, do I? Maybe I should. Because you know what? I'm sick and tired of this sickness that's roaming around on this freaking planet. A giraffe now being a trophy for some fucked up motherfucker, bitches included, who want to be up behind a gun and kill an innocent, beautiful specimen that's now becoming extinct? Are you serious right now? Pass this damn show along. I want to get it to the motherfuckers who actually did that shit. Let them hear my voice. Let them come after me. Because you know what? They're going to see the other side of this freaking mic. Get me pissed off? That's one way to get me pissed off. You were just sitting here quiet, like, this doesn't even affect you or something.
It doesn't. I mean, it's horrible. This is not something that started last week. Like, this is nothing new. So I'm just letting you kind of do what you got to do here, I guess. I don't really know how to handle
I think I channeled some of those feelings and that poor dog into that painting that I just did, for real. Because that shit is horrible.
Let's next
horrible.
Well, let's next step it. Go on fucking YouTube or Facebook and look at all the people posting videos of people fist fighting or beating the crap out of someone or whatever. And those are people. So, like, Yeah.
I am not a fan of people this weekend or last week. Matter of fact, even just sitting here contemplating why I even want to do this show anymore is just one of those things. Because you know what? When you want to see change and become the change, you see assholes like that who are just left, just doing this horrible shit.
But that's a matter of focus. Are you going to focus on the asshole, or are you going to focus on the people that say they like what you do and hit us up and say that we help them or this and that? I mean, I know I sound like a broken record, but if you want to go looking for something, you'll find it. So if you want to focus on the assholes in the world, then you will find them. And if you want to not focus on them, then
why?
you won't.
Why would someone think that that's entertainment?
Well, I don't
why
know.
would anybody?
Why I don't think like that.
Ever?
So how
think?
could I
mean, seriously, why would anybody think that an innocent, even giraffe, is like fair game to be shot and killed?
I don't know,
an elephant.
But I'm not those kinds of people, so I can't really wrap my head around that thought process.
That's probably why I stopped eating meat, because I can't even take the torture anymore of these innocent souls that don't deserve it, man. It's messed up, and people are out of their freaking minds, and I'm so sick of it. I am so sick of it. I don't even know if sharing is even worth sharing stuff like that. Maybe you're just like getting that guy more attention who's doing stuff like that, or those people. No, I don't know. I want somebody to.
No, because that's how people get held accountable for things. Like in this day and age, you're always on camera, let alone doing it to yourself. So when that stuff gets around, I mean, that guy will lose his job. He'll probably have charges pressed against him.
I hope. And I never want to wish bad on anybody. I don't know why, but when I saw those videos just passing through, I haven't seen videos like that on my timeline, and I don't know how long. And maybe it's because I'm sharing a lot of pet videos, and maybe
that's the upside of social media, though, is that you get social justice. You get immediate retribution.
Right. I hope. I swear. I hope they prosecute him.
Like these people that
they prosecute those girls or those guys that are out there shooting in Africa.
Well, that's legal there. That's another story. I mean, if it's legally sanctioned, there's nothing you can do about it. Now, if it's illegal... I can't believe
why would they make it legal there,
because they make money off of it through tourism. People go there and pay lots of money to shoot things.
But wait a minute. Oh, my God. But if they become extinct, there's nothing to go see. People go to Africa to see a safari.
No, people go there to shoot stuff.
Oh, my God.
I mean, people do go there to see things, too, but if you're a village... a small little village or tribe, and you can make shitloads of money taking fucking rich white dudes out into the fucking savannah to fucking shoot stuff, and that's your means of survival.
So damn. Oh my God.
It just, I don't know, man. I'm with you. I'm just like, you just got here. I've been here forever. So, welcome to the party.
Yeah, somebody
like you're looking at me like I'm the asshole for not getting mad about it. I've been mad about it. So I'm just not.
Somebody beating my dogs like that. Oh my God, I wouldn't even know what to do. I would be like, oh my God, it's just so horrible to even think about. And just like, I just can't believe that anybody would even think that shit's funny. It's so horrible. And that's probably one of the most things that I'm really just messed up over this weekend, because I had to watch that, and it just kept the same thing kept popping up. Like first when you log in the that's the other thing. Facebook. I did, but hold on. That's the other thing about Facebook. I swear. Facebook, on a positive aspect, since I've been on there since 2009, has been pretty awesome in regards to my business. And, I've been doing business on Facebook for years through, having my, advertising, sponsoring things and, building my, all of who I am there. But it's also like going into a job and not even liking the people that you're going into the job.
Well, a lot of things.
You know what I mean? It feels like that's how
changed,
Facebook feels like to me.
But anymore. A lot of things have changed on Facebook too. So it's not what it once was because along the way Facebook turned into a business. So now it's a business and it's got to make money. So now there's all these algorithms and things going on to pick and choose what you see and how you see and when you see it. So it's not what it once was. It's kind of outgrown itself. And we, as users, it's easy to get trapped in the Facebook rabbit hole of scrolling or comparing yourself to others or thinking the world's a pile of shit or thinking everybody's better than you. But that's just not the reality. People put their best self and their best stuff on Facebook. They don't put all the fucking hard work or the fucking bullshit that they go through to get those things. They just put the vacation photos or they just put the new car or whatever. And then you start comparing yourself to those people. Well, this person has this. Why don't I have this? It's a bad road to go down, man. And the same thing with business stuff. Well, this person's doing this. Well, maybe they're not. Maybe it's all front. Like, you don't know what someone else is actually doing or what they got going on. Or
right.
Maybe they're in debt up to their asshole and they took out a bunch of loans to get their business going. I mean, you don't know.
Right.
So I look at Facebook as I pick and choose what I take from it. It's great to goof around with your friends. It's great to kind of keep up what's going on. It's great to promote yourself. And other than that, I just kind of, you pick and choose your battles. If I see something on there that I don't like, I just... Next.
Right.
No, I get in my little political debates and my arguments and stuff. But
You're so good at that, though.
But you know why I'm good at it? Because I don't really care. Like, I care about what I'm talking about.
Like, I mean, you almost really like it when someone tries to challenge you.
Well, I do.
To the point, oh, come at me, bro. Come at me, girl.
I just like, okay, I really like...
And you'll go at somebody all day.
But I like to read and I like to study stuff, and
you do.
So
every day you
when
read,
I get a chance to like use that knowledge, whether it be for good or evil, like I like to do that. So that's all it is. Like last week when we were kind of talking about religion and stuff, that's something that interests me. So if someone wants to argue about it, hey man, I'm down. Like, it's not to be a dick. It's just that's a subject that interests me. So like politics and things like that kind of stuff interests me. The economy, science, technology, those things are what I'm interested in. So, when someone starts spouting off at the mouth and they're wrong or something, I'm like, oh, let me stick my foot in here and shit all over you. I don't know. I just like doing that. Like, I don't know.
You got it.
I know how to turn it off.
Yeah, you know.
Like, I don't I'll argue with someone on Facebook all day, and then I'll come home and record the show, or play video games, or work on music, or that stops. That's an isolated, compartmentalized part of my life. I don't come home and be like, that motherfucker on Facebook.
How do you think people can control their emotions and not let things...
Well, it's just that. You just do. You control your emotions.
Right.
You have to just do it. Happiness is a choice. And yeah, I know there's people out there with real problems and real depression and things like that. And I've been through that kind of crap, so I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying at the end of the day, you have to realize that you're a sentient being and that you have control over yourself. You have control over your thoughts, just like you have control over your arms and legs. Mm-hmm. So you got to just reel it in. You got to say, okay, well... these things aren't real. I'm making this up, or maybe I'm making it bigger than it is, or like the best way for me, and all I can do is say what works for me, is operating on facts, going by what I know to be true, because that prevents you or your brain from spiraling out of control. If you only operate on what you 100% know for certain, you can't then go to these crazy conclusions,
right?
Because you don't know. You're working with presumptions and you're working with not facts. So I try to just really stay on topic. And when we argue or get in fights or stuff, I always am like, well, what specifically? And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying, well, what specifically are you mad about, or what specifically are you talking about? Because when you start working in specifics, it makes the problem something you can handle. Things become unmanageable when you start what-ifing and what if this, or I could have done that, or we should have did this, or whatever. When you start doing those things, then the snowball starts rolling down the hill, and it starts picking up speed, and it starts picking up more snow, and it starts picking up more snow, and before you know it, this little problem that's probably not that big of a deal, or probably not that hard to handle, becomes this huge problem. So I think, dealing in facts is a great way to stop that process and kind of reel your emotions in.
Good point.
Because I feel like emotional people, argue with an emotional person. You've done it, I'm sure. Okay. And you tend to be more of an emotional person. When your brain gets an idea, it goes from like the 10-yard line to the other 10-yard line immediately. Like, there's no like gradual progression. It's 0 to 60. There's no, it's, oh, well, you didn't put the dishes away. Well, he didn't put the dishes away because he hates me. Like, no.
Who does that?
No, I'm just making an example. Oh. Like, of someone making an illogical conclusion out of something small.
Right.
So it's that ramping it up and letting your brain kind of run wild.
Yeah, please don't do that on social media. We had a friend recently tried to...
Well, people just run...
emotional rant.
People run because their brain runs wild. They go, well, these people don't like me, or this is this, or that's that, when they don't really have the facts. Or the facts that they do have, then they start inferring other things. And it spirals out of control. And that's a great example of that. Like, you have a piece of the puzzle, but instead of putting the whole puzzle together and working on it, you just jump to conclusions of what the picture's going to look like at the end, when you're probably way off base. So, something that I've really been working on lately is just not getting mad. Like, I get worked up for a minute, and it's healthy to let your anger out. Mm-hmm. And it's healthy to get angry. It's not healthy to stay angry. Getting angry is a reaction. Staying angry is a choice. Mm-hmm. So I've really been, and I think I've been doing a really good job of it too, is just kind of like diffusing situations and making them less instead of making them more.
Right. Russell Simmons followed me recently on Instagram. And my God, Russell Simmons is somebody I've been following since, obviously the beginning of hip hop. And he is somebody that follows a path of enlightenment, spirituality, yogi, I posted this post. I said, you only lose what you cling to. And this was a Buddha quote. He actually reposted that and tagged me in it. And liked what I said in regards to attachment is the root of all suffering. And then he added, the state of needing nothing is enlightenment super rich. And it's so true, because I see that we all have this issue. We all can attach ourselves to something, especially when we feel like we're losing control of it, or we feel like we're, it's not, or maybe we don't feel confident in keeping what it is that's going on, or not maybe having the confidence in being able to keep ourselves happy to the point where we feel that what's going to be is going to be, and we'll be happy with the outcome anyway.
Right.
And I see...
I think that kind of touches back on letting things spiral out of control.
Right, because we attach ourselves to it, and that's what's creating the chaos. Even just like me, I'm working out of the emotion of seeing those heinous videos, those evil, heinous videos of innocent animals being tortured. And I just, it's just like I have no control over what anybody else is doing out there. I only have control over what I can do.
Right.
And what I can do. But what I can do is raise awareness, and raise awareness through my emotions that I've been given, through my, even just like anger is an obvious emotion. And y'all heard me yell, y'all heard me curse, y'all heard me get mad. Why? Because I want to keep this show 100. I am not here to paint a pretty picture all the time for you. I'm here to paint a real damn picture. Because you know what? I think I've put a lot of myself for the last 5 years out here, just putting myself out here, being vulnerable, being, not having anything to hide, just putting myself out there.
Oh.
That's it. That's, comedians are so good at doing that too. When they do their stand-up, you can get to know a comedian just by what they're talking about and the things that they say. They just say it in a funny way. They put it in funny situations. But that shit is true. A lot of them are, they sit back and they delve, and they're aware about what's going on around them. People are around them, the situations around them. They just know how to, channel it in a real funny way and bring it to life on stage to make it relatable to other people that make them laugh. That's what I like about comedy. Here, this show is, I wouldn't say it's, I think that we have comedic moments, but for the most part, it's therapeutic. It's, it's raising awareness, and it's, it's even just my awareness of the world around me and what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm channeling right now. And I'm channeling right now. I know that you don't, I believe in those planetary shifts. I believe that there's a relatable thing there, because we're all energy. I do not believe in it. I believe that we're all energy, and we all operate. When these things get funky, like Mercury retrograde, things happen. These things happen. Like, you have communications that go down. You have business deals that go down the toilet. You have things that, people, unexplained, just arguments, just flaring up between people that you were cool with, like, and just things that just go, this miscommunication. It's all about the communication, and I always tell people during this time, be aware of these things, because if these things are happening and they're catching you out of left field, pay attention to them, because it's not really you. It's just how the energies are operating and how our other energies attach to us and create these conflicts all the way around through our communication, through people, through dealings, through business stuff. Go ahead. But.
And to touch on that real quick, I don't not believe in that stuff. There's just no concrete evidence that it's true. So the jury's out.
Okay.
But back to my point.
Okay.
If people are aware of these shifts and these alignments and this energy and these pulls and pushes throughout the universe, then be aware of it. And just don't be a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like saying, well, I know that every third Tuesday, I trip over the same spot walking down this hallway every third Tuesday. Saying I know the spot's there, but yet every third Tuesday I continue to trip over that same spot. Well, why don't you hop the fuck over it or walk the fuck around it? Because otherwise, maybe you're just stupid. Like, if you see it coming and you know it's coming, then don't participate.
Right.
Like, recognize it if you're flying off the handle and be like, okay, well, it's this time of the month and this is where this is and this is how this works and whatever. So maybe it's just me and I need to fucking knock it off.
Right.
Like, which goes back to what I said earlier, we're in control of ourselves. Arms, legs, mouth, emotions, whatever. And yes, tempers flare, and yes, people get heated, but ultimately we have to just kind of step outside of ourselves and go, okay, yes, I'm mad about this thing, but it's probably not the end of the world, and I'm probably not going to be mad about it in a few minutes, so I'm going to just get this out, and, getting mad is a reaction. And it's a perfectly fair one. Staying mad is a choice. And it's just ruining your day.
Yeah. I had a friend, there's all these things going on right now. Like, human trafficking is real, man. That stuff is really happening in our backyard. Literally. Yes. You heard it here. If you think this is just happening overseas, it's not. It's happening here in Cleveland. It's happening beyond Cleveland. It's happening in Akron. It's happening wherever. It's happening all over. And a friend of mine reached out to me and was telling me about this human trafficking thing that they busted this guy who had like this 11-year-old girl who they were selling for sex here in Cleveland. And it's just like, and then earlier I had to take every 2 years as an esthetician, being through the cosmetology board, I got to renew my license. And in that license, you have to take you can do classes and get so many credit hours for those classes, or you can take online tests. Sometimes, this past year I took an online test and I had a class that I took. But I took the online class. I like to take it because I like to know exactly some of the rules that I'm being faced with. And right now there was a whole chapter on human trafficking that I actually had to take. And I'm reading through this, a lot of it, and pay attention, ladies out there who are listening to it. A lot of these human trafficking things are happening in like nail salons. And you have to pay attention to when you go to a nail salon, and when there are signs to this. And I can get to this. I can get some information like later on and everything, but I'm just rambling right now because these things are coming into my mind and my heart to speak about it. But, these are real things that are happening here, and our kids are being used as prostitutes, to be sold, and sold as, for sex. And, you have a lot of desperate, sick people out there that by any means necessary, they will do anything for the almighty dollar.
I think a lot of...
And they will sell their souls to get it.
I think a lot of service industry people, like bartenders, servers, hotel people, people that work in salons and stuff like that. Like, I know you're talking about on a grand scale, like they're funneling Asian women through the salon and human, but I'm talking about even on like a 1-to-1 level. A lot of these service industry people are being trained and have even a small section in employee handbooks and stuff of what to look for. Because when you think about it, bartenders or servers or hotel people are the people that would probably run across these things where a woman may be trapped in a situation or something, and it's becoming so common, which sucks, but these industries are becoming aware and telling their employees to kind of keep their heads, their eyes open for certain situations, or if someone looks, beat down, or, these signs to look for in these people to kind of report them or head them off or whatever.
And by the way, these aren't just your slum hotels either anymore, folks. These are like some of your high-end hotels that, these...
Well, you got to think of the clientele. Yeah. If you have enough money to buy a person, you're probably not sleeping at the Motel 8.
Right.
I don't know what a person costs, but I assume it's expensive. So, yeah. It's a big deal right now.
I think I've had my fair share. I think all of this stuff in the last 2 weeks has just been boggling my mind a little bit. And I've been painting a lot these last couple of weeks, and thankfully so, but I can't help but, sometimes I just need to get it out and, just really talk about it, because I feel like even just that sometimes I use my paintings to channel my love, channel my good energy, and that's how I do paint, because I want to bring love and light in through my paintings, and hope and belief. I don't use that as a platform to raise awareness on something so vile as human trafficking. Whoa. Although I will say I was a part of ArtPrize last year, and ArtPrize, there was remember when we went to, there was this the one show where they had a little girl. This was like kind of like a 3D, like or 2D type of, no, it was a 3D installation of this girl. It was a painting, and then there was a fence, an actual fence around this little girl. And that was, and I'll never forget that. I think I actually have a picture of it still.
Yeah, I might too.
But it was so moving. The girl was so beautiful, but she was behind this chain gate. Like she was she was like some vicious animal, but she was getting ready to be, sold, bought, screwed, whatever, for every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there who's a sick bastard. I mean, seriously, there's just all of these things, that I'm just so disgusted by, but even just channeling that. And I know art has a level of raising awareness. Like somebody just recently brought up I've been faced with gentrification this past week, and, having a talk to other artists about that, because, there was a Pittsburgh artist who made a claim about in a area of Pittsburgh called East Liberty. And she had a sign on a building, a very well-known building in East Liberty, and she was able to post very social conscious quotes up there her thoughts on this building. And one of it was "the future is black" on the building. I'm paraphrasing that. That's not the exact quote, mind you. But
it was "there are black people in the future."
Yeah, there are black people in the future. Coming out of a time where, the Black Panther movie just skyrocketed. It's probably just over. Nobody, it's like one of the highest grossing films in a long time since Titanic, and of course the future is black. It's always going to be black. Black people are not going anywhere. I don't know how this is a thing, and I understand, but hold on. There was something more to that. And then another artist, another artist I have a lot of respect for, he said, hey, there's a lot of gentrification going on there. A lot of people lost their homes because they've been rebuilding this area and blah, blah, blah. I'm aware that East Liberty has been in a transformation, like Ohio City is right now, currently here in Cleveland is going on right now, and here are my thoughts. Here are my thoughts about that. I like where this is going. I like that there are people right now that are my age who had children very early, whose kids now, think about this. I'm 45 now. Okay? And there are other families or couples or singles out there who have children who are now in college, empty nesters, but are still young enough, and they sacrificed a lot of their youth and years in raising their children. They've moved into suburban areas and now have their opportunity to go live in the city, like me. And when most people, like right now, like you have kids right now that are like in their 20s, more successful people now that are in their 20s, even in their early 30s now, who are making boatloads of money and doing, different types of businesses now, and who get to move into those neighborhoods that they would have loved to have lived if they hadn't had kids and lived in suburbs, and now can sell their house, essentially don't need the house anymore, and they can move now into those those condos or those houses that they have minimal maintenance on, and they can now just live their lives and have fun and kind of have like a redo in their life. I don't think a lot of people are seeing it from that perspective, because I'm one of those people now. I've raised my children. I am now working my way to get a downtown spot, and to live among, artists and other people, and live, if I could live in the city and not have to mow a lawn again in my life, that's what I'm going to do. Because I've been doing it for the last 20 years with my kids in tow. People don't understand that that's what's going on. And these people right now they're getting into their retirement age. They got more money. So guess what? You got these developers out here that are making that happen for them. They're building these condos and these complexes, or renovating these spaces you make it conducive to those people that used to live in suburba in their houses for they had $250,000 or $300,000 or maybe even $1 million or $500,000 homes that they're selling off now, and they can now move right in downtown Cleveland or right near Cleveland. Or another major metropolitan like East Liberty, moving right into those cities that are close. East Liberty has a major transit system that can go right downtown, because I used to ride that transit system all the time. That's the other perspective that I was seeing. Not to discount anybody who's poor or anything, because you know what? I've been poor. I've been poor a majority of my life. I lived poor. You know what I mean? But monetarily. But now I'm getting to that level. And you know what? It's about working towards that level and working towards your dreams and raising that bar. And why are you gonna sit around and, bitch about, other people now who get to live the second half of their life in a nice, sexy city or near a sexy city and not have to mow a lawn ever again in their life and take care of all the maintenance because the kids are gone now. And they're still young enough now to live their life and go to plays and go to sexy restaurants. They're creating these things because the people want it. People like me want it.
Right, but other people
and now we can afford to.
But other people were living there.
They were living there. So how now they were living there?
It's all cyclical. It's just perpetuating a cycle.
What do we do about that? What do we do about that, Ricky? What is the solution to help those people now that are being forced out of their apartments or homes in order to, get along with their lives?
I think that these people that are buying up all this property and doing all this stuff or renovating these old houses or stuff should be forced to provide low-income housing in the same areas. Personally.
Take care of their elders.
No,
take care of the
elders.
Some of them are elders. Listen,
I'm not talking about elders. I'm talking about income brackets.
Listen, this is happening. Listen, I was just talking to my girl Brenda in Detroit recently, the other day, and it's happening right in Detroit. She said, Lo, she said, you would not believe what's going on around here. She said, an old house that I had wasn't worth anything. She says, that house now, she says, about $1.9 million right now. Right. In downtown Detroit.
Because it's the property.
She
said... Or someone renovated it,
she said, she was talking about, this same thing, this whole gentrification going on there, too. And it says, well, where are some of these... I asked her flat, I says, where do you think some of these people are going? She said, Alabama. They're going back to the South.
Okay,
with family members or friends or whatever, and they're moving.
Should you be forced out of the neighborhood that you've grown up in and called home your whole life? Like, let's say someone's 30, but they're poor. And you're 35 years old and you live in Detroit and it's the only city you've ever known, but you can't afford to live there now. So you have to move to a place that you've never been, never lived, don't really know anybody because some rich white dude wants a condo by the MGM. Fuck that.
I don't know. I think we all have some work to do. And at the end of the day, it's all about, here's where I do know. I know that we're all here to walk each other home. I know that we're all what we need to get along, to be able to get through each day. I know that we need to surround ourselves with good people. I know that there are good people that are willing to lift a finger to help. You just got to find those ones that are willing to do it. I think that there are people out here that are willing to, I think people need to find what works for them. And they need to continue to believe in themselves and do the best that they can with everything that they have. And if they really truly believe, I also believe God will always make a way, no matter what the circumstance is. And we all have things that happen to us, all of us. But we can't just continue to point the finger and blame and shift blame. Yeah, there's a consequence. There's a circumstance that happens. There's circumstances that happen to us. But see, are those the circumstances that are going to shift us back, or are those the circumstances that are going to push us forward? Like, we all have that power within. We all do. And I've been through those circumstances. I have been through some circumstances. I mean, I've been through a lot of these circumstances to even be able to share everything that I'm telling you right now.
And that's awesome that you made it through those issues and found a way out the other side, but not everyone is you.
Not everybody's in me, but that's, hold up. Not everybody is me. You're correct about that.
I'm just talking about generally speaking.
All these people are connected.
Right. So shouldn't those people that are doing those things and revitalizing those communities be worried about what's happening to the people that they're displacing? No, they're not worried about it. They're worried about money and how many dumb motherfucking white people they can get to move in. Period. That's the problem. If you're displacing hundreds and sometimes thousands of people at a time.
Okay, hold on. There's the other thing. It's not just white people.
It's a lot of fucking white people.
We have Japanese, we have Koreans, we have Indians that have a lot of money.
Fucking white people. It's a lot of fucking white people.
And there are a lot of black people that are making money too.
Who owns Detroit?
Huh?
Who owns Detroit?
Dan Gilbert.
Color is he?
White.
Who's he kicking out? Not white people. Okay, rest my case. So.
But listen. Like even with Brenda, when I was talking to her, she was telling me that, okay, make a good point. Yeah, there are a lot of Japanese. There are a lot
I'm not saying there's not a lot. I'm saying, but there's mostly a lot of Chinese white
that
people
are moving in and buying up properties too. So let's not say it's just a white.
Mostly white people.
Okay.
Mostly.
Okay.
Mostly.
I would love to get some facts. So if anybody's out there listening to the show and would like to enlighten me with some details on this whole situation with gentrification, I would be happy to receive that information.
At the end of the day,
I would like to see us all be able to solve this issue together.
At the end of the
be
day,
able to
is it
contact
nice to
these
have
people.
nice buildings and nice streets?
Of course it is. Who doesn't want to go to the city and enjoy?
But at what cost?
But at what cost?
What are you carrying around on your back?
Right. Are you carrying around somebody else's life to do so? Livelihood.
Right. Are you kicking people out of their homes? And that's why I say there's got to be some kind of like urban renewal on the back end of this gentrification shit.
Maybe there's lack of education on those programs.
See, the problem,
are there programs there?
But the problem is, even, let's say in an ideal world that the people that were developing would hear that out. That's fine. We'll build X amount of low-income housing or apartment buildings within a certain radius of these gentrified areas. Well, rich white people don't want to live next to broke black people, so that hurts your real estate value. These developers want these people out. Not just down the street, not just down the block. They want them out. They want them as fucking far away as you can get them. So if that's Alabama or Oklahoma or where the fuck ever else, out. And that's what's happening. These minority people and poorer people, black and white, are being pushed out to places like Alabama, which is dirt fucking poor. Alabama is broke across the board. Lowest paying jobs, lowest healthcare, lowest education, dirt fucking poor. So yeah, these people are going there because that's the only fucking place they can afford to live.
What can we do as a community? What do you think people have to do as a community to help each other out from the inside? They
have to be accepting of people that aren't we've created a class system. And we have to get past that. Everyone has value. Everyone that's working a full-time job should be able to afford a nice place to live and food. Period. Across the board. Every single one. If you're willing to give up 40 hours of your week to do something, love it or hate it, you should be able to afford to live by yourself and have a decent life. Now, that doesn't mean you get to go on 10 vacations a year, but you should be able to have a standard of living. You should be able to afford a car, afford to eat, afford a 2-bedroom apartment, and, have a little money left over to entertain yourself. Whether that's a movie on the weekend or a vacation once a year or whatever. Everyone should be able to do that. So, whatever, I don't know, I don't have the answers to everything. I got a lot of ideas. Most people don't like them. So,
Why don't you think people like your ideas?
Because they are looking out for themselves, and it's easy to write people off and move on and say, well, that person's broke because they choose to be, or that person's broke because they didn't work hard enough, or whatever. And everyone thinks that they worked hard, that they had the magic bullet, that they persevered, that they pulled themselves up by them bootstraps. Bull fucking shit. No one did it by themselves. No one.
There's a lot of people that are getting a lot of support. We all have help. And that's the truth. And there's some people that don't. There's some people that don't.
And the people that don't need it. And the people that had the help to get where they are want to shit on the guy underneath them. Or blame all the economy's problems on the guy on food stamps or the welfare guy or whatever. No. That guy needs us.
We should be able to want to take care of our home.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
And this is our home. The United States of America is our home.
I don't care if I live next to a broke guy, as long as he's a nice guy and he wants to take care of his shit. We live in a very mixed area. Mm-hmm. And it's lower income and upper income. I mean, it's a mixed area. You go right over there, it's Fairlawn. You go right over there, it's downtown Akron. Our neighborhood's kind of the melting pot of that area. I believe they do Section 8 where we live. So there's broke people here. We don't get any help. We do all right. We live here because we like it because it's cheap. But it's a mixed area. There's black people here. There's white people here. There's young people here. There's old people here. And for the most part, yeah, you get some dumbass kids breaking into cars or something once in a while. But it's a nice area. It's typically quiet. And,
I love art.
People give you a head nod when you go to the mailbox, or black dude walking his dog. What's up, man? What's up?
We do have pretty much the nicest place, though.
Whatever.
I'm just saying, because we have an upstairs, downstairs. We have a port. We have 2 decks, one in the front, one in the back. We have 2 studios that we've been able to make, but no, we have an awesome place.
But I'm just saying, I've lived here for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. Well, probably, yeah, maybe even longer than that. And I've never really had an issue. Someone backed into my car a few months ago, but whatever. It's 15 fucking years old.
But that could happen anywhere.
And that could happen anywhere. I used to live on a fucking golf course. No, I used to live on a fucking golf course.
Matter of fact,
and my shit got broken into 10 times.
Hold on, one of my friends in Lakewood. And that's a whole
Lakewood's just like this.
Yeah, Lakewood is just like
this.
It's
that
area.
Middle
of the road. You
get a little bit of everybody.
You got your hooded Jasons
right
around you.
You get a little bit of everybody.
You get a little bit of everybody. Even Ohio City, don't you always say it's hood adjacent?
No, Ohio City's fucking hood as fuck. If you get off that main, if you get off that if you get off that main drag, dude, you're gonna get shot.
Listen, the median house price now in freaking Ohio City, I believe it's about $250,000 now.
Dude, you go drive around over there. Burnt down house, liquor store, gun store, liquor store, church, $1 million house, burnt down house, crack house, meth house, $2 million house. But again, that's MidGentrification. And what do you do with the guy that lived in the crack house? He's got to have a place to live too. Crackheads need a place to live too. So, or even you go downtown, go over by the flats where they have that homeless shelter up on the hill. When you're coming up out of there, now they got all these $1 million apartments over there and condos, and then they got these homeless dudes. They're going to get the boot. That ain't going to last. That shit ain't going to last.
What are you talking about, over by the 78th?
No, right when you're coming up out of the flats. When we come out, there's that church there, and there's always all those dudes, and it's always sketchy as fuck right there. It is sketchy. And they just put all them big-ass condos and apartment buildings and shit right there. Those people ain't going to get to stay there.
I know.
So where do they go? And the vast majority of them probably weren't doing nothing wrong. So, you gotta be willing to...
This is very interesting, isn't it? This is going.
You gotta be willing to fucking take care of people and not... And, treat people as an asset. As a commodity. That everybody does. Because even if everybody was rich, someone would still have to empty the trash cans and scrub the toilets.
Yeah, we need to take care of the people that need to empty the trash cans.
But even if everybody was rich, what if everybody went to college?
Serving our food.
What if you went to college? What if everybody went to college? Someone would still have to fucking cook your burger,
right? And somebody would be happy to cook your burger. Anthony Bourdain cooked a burger, and now look at him now.
But my point is,
he cooked many burgers before he became Anthony Bourdain.
But my point is, there's always going to be classes of jobs. So no matter how much we even or don't even the playing field, those jobs are still going to need to be done.
Yes.
So
we need to take care. Okay, so
just be nice to people.
Be nice to people. Treat them how you want to be treated, and take care of them. Because you know what? When you take care of people, people really do take care of you. Bottom line.
And maybe they won't. But so what?
And if they don't, then
give freely and expect nothing. It's all you can do in life. Because when you start expecting shit, you're fucked.
That's actually something that you came across this past week with folks.
Well, it's
the expectation factor. You've actually dealt with a few friends who've had these expectation factors. So what do you have to say about that?
I think that would be a topic to do a whole show on.
All right, fine.
Well, no, I think you really could. I think that expectations are a motherfucker, and I think that when you start projecting them, big, small, or otherwise, you're going down a bad road. If you're only doing something now to expect something later, you will be sorely disappointed very often.
That's true.
And that's all I think we could do a whole
show. That's all we'll say on that.
About.
But hold up. Okay, so to wrap up, couple of things. I have 2 paintings that are going into the Metropolitan at the 9. I have a gallery wall there on the main floor, so I will be installing on Tuesday. When is that? Is that the 11th?
Sure.
Look at your calendar. Let's see.
That would be Wednesday is the 11th.
Okay, so Tuesday the 10th, I'll be doing an installation there, and so I'm really excited. I think this weather also got a lot of people down and everything. We're almost
fucking weather sucks.
Man. We're getting there. So just hang on, and we're getting through this Mercury retrograde, which is going on until I think about the 15th. So
yeah, Mercury's in Gatorade, whatever.
So Mercury's in Gatorade, whatever. Also, I want to talk about the up and coming shows that we have. We have an unplanned show every second Friday of the month at the Hop House, Uncorked Wine Bar Gallery, and that is at 20 North High Street in Akron, Ohio. Second Friday every month, come dance to some techno house. And we will have a show this Friday starring
Brandon Andrews from Cleveland. He's had a few releases out recently. They've all been tearing up the charts. He's an awesome dude, and I'm really curious to see what he's going to throw down for us. So
it's such a good vibe in there, guys. Let me just say.
We also have Flaw coming up from Columbus. He does a bunch of stuff down there, runs his own shows and stuff too. So I mean, it's going to be a great lineup. All the way around. So guys come out, it's $5. We'll have free pizza. Obviously drinks will be flowing. Hopefully the weather will be a little bit nicer. Maybe we can hang out on the patio a little bit.
That would be nice. I can't wait for the patio stuff to happen and everything. But
right.
I want everybody to know this is such a cool spot. It's such a, I mean, we have all walks of life that come in there. Like,
it's a good mix.
Just a good mix of people who are there to dance, and we all have such a good time. Every second Friday of the month, and these shows have been awesomely successful. So I'm very proud to be a part of the Unplanned crew, who is doing some awesome things with everything. It's just like a really nice family that's come together to bring some fun back into dance music, which I'm very thrilled to be a part of, and I'm happy to be on this journey with you, my darling.
We're happy to have you as part of our little company.
Thank you. I'm happy to be a part of it. It's been a long time coming, and I've been out there with running around a bunch of different crews for a while, but it's really nice to finally have a home, and I support everybody out there that's doing their thing, or wanting to do a thing, but do it with love, and always always do it with the people in mind and wanting them to have a good time, and I think that's what we have over everybody that's, out there right now that's doing it, and I know people have to pay their bills and pay their overhead and stuff, but you know what? If you're out there serving a dish of fun to people, that all will come, especially if you believe in your brand and believe in what you're doing. Trust me when I say that. Until then, I'm going to sign off on the show. Go to loloknows.com for all things. I'll put some event stuff on there this week.
Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on YouTube. I'll be yelling about politics on Facebook, SoundCloud.
I love your DJ thing that
wherever
you've been doing
else.
on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing DJ shows. I'm going to try to pick a regular day for that. I'm waiting for some more camera stuff and some mounts and things, so I haven't really figured that out. But the gaming stuff, I'll usually do one midweek and then one or on the weekends, and then the DJ stuff, I'll probably do one midweek and one on the weekends. So stay tuned for that stuff. I'm pretty stoked about it, but follow me various social medias.
And if you endured me during this whole time during this show, I thank you very much. I appreciate it. I love y'all very much, and I hope y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. Namaste, everybody.
Later, dudes.
Bye.